How a Romance Novel Saved the Galaxy by Ariana Deralte. Chapter 15. Mace! Mace was taking a break from reading The Mandalorians Dilemma, which he was secretly enjoying, to investigate another issue that was nagging at the back of his mind. When Madame Nu brought up the fact that they had both Padawan Kiro being adopted by a Mandalorian and Holden Law's complaint to deal with, both of which probably stemmed from a gawking romance novel, the council had dissolved into a bit of chaos, especially at the news that Initiate Kenobi was most likely also adopted by now. Then, on the heels of that debate where Madame Nu and Tvoka advocated the council read the book before making any decisions, since it was obviously causing the Mandalorians to interact with Jedi in unprecedented ways, an order had come in from the Senate, one that ordered the Jedi to arrest or otherwise subdue the true Mandalorians on Galadron for their crimes. The giant Shatterpoint looming over that order made it hard for Mace to focus. Fortunately, these other two issues with the Mandalorians had the council assigning Master Dooku to lead the group with the caveat that he was supposed to investigate before taking any actions. This was not what the Senate had ordered, but Madame Nu was correct that there was obviously some miscommunication going on here. If Mandalorian culture valued children so highly these days, someone saying they were slaughtering them wholesale suggested the report the Senate had gotten was wrong, or the Senate researchers hadn't done their duty in fact-checking the mission. The resulting resolution of the giant Shatterpoint at this decision had been a welcome relief. In the end, Master Tvoka had succeeded in arguing that everyone read the novel before they addressed their rapidly multiplying Mandalorian issues. The issue that had been nagging at Mace was the one of Initiate Kenobi. He pulled up Kenobi's file, which he had seen for the first time several days before when dealing with Kenobi's supposed beating of Initiate Brock Chun. The Force had told him then that the situation was the other way around, with Chun targeting Kenobi. He'd been proven correct when they checked the cameras in the training sala where it happened. However, he realized with dismay he had thought that was the end of the issue and hadn't looked further. Kenobi hadn't been a bully, but he had reacted in anger after all. Yoda had used the opportunity of the more traditional on the council and the multiple transgressions in Kenobi's file to allow Kenobi one last fight to impress Jin before sending them both off on the same transport to Bandamir, completely bypassing both the current master of the Kresh and the Karkin Council of Reassignment. Even worse, now that he was looking at Obi-Wan Kenobi's file in detail, there was a strong pattern apparent. Kenobi was painted as regularly picking on other initiates, from losing his temper and fighting with them to interfering in their studies. However, whenever the name of the initiate he was bullying was mentioned, it was Chun. The Force once again insisted it was the other way around. He pulled up Chun's file, then stared in disbelief. Had Chun not even been disciplined for his stunt framing Kenobi? The boy's anger issues were noted, but there was nothing about the manipulations and bullying. What the carp was going on in the Kresh? He sent a message to the master of the Kresh, Waresha, asking them to investigate. He was on the final chapters of the book when he got a response, asking him to meet with the Wookiee master at his earliest convenience. Mace reluctantly put the book down. He really wanted to know if and how they rescued Kiri, and headed for the Kresh. In one of the outer rooms, far from the younglings, Master Waresha was leaking stress and worry into the Force. It was the first time Mace had seen the elder Wookiee so upset. Waresha had been in charge of the Kresh since Mace was there. Mace! Waresha swept him up into a hug that Mace relaxed into. Even at his adult height, he was still dwarfed by the Wookiee Master. The hug made him nostalgic for his Kresh days. Thank you for coming so quickly. There's an issue regarding Master El-Mem of Squall Clan, the clan you asked me to check up on. I'm not sure if you know him, but El-Mem is Arconin. He has otherwise been an exemplary Jedi Master until now. This was his first time leading a clan along with Master Yoda. Unfortunately, Chun and his friends have been using, either deliberately or accidentally, his Arconin predilection for group decision-making against El-Mem.
They approach him in a group and present Obi-Wan's failings, which are often caused by Chun and others, as a foregone conclusion. Elmem assumes the usual Arconian group discussion has already taken place and puts the blame solely on Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan's friends in the creche have successfully argued with Elmem later to reverse some of his decisions, but Obi-Wan himself seems to view withstanding the bullying as a test of his ability to be a Jedi.
Mace closed his eyes.
Which it is, but not one we would have subject him to. Did the initiates admit to this? Brock did after much prodding, and I have talked with some of Obi-Wan's friends. I'm not sure what to do with Brock beyond punishing him for his treatment of Obi-Wan. The boy is not totally at fault, I feel, since Master Elmem failed to spot and correct the problem that has been going on for years. But he also ages out in a month and is a mass of fear and resentment. He's been sabotaging poor Obi-Wan's educational modules for years to lessen the boy's scores compared to his. I fear there is almost nothing in Obi-Wan's file that accurately reflects his character and abilities.
Yoda would know, pointed out Mace. Waresha snarled out what Mace recognized as a curse.
Yoda wants it for his own lineage. That is clear enough.
Mace understood his frustration. Yoda was the Grand Master of the Order, and even if he weren't, nearly 900 years at the temple held a lot of cultural sway with your average Jedi. When Mace was in agreement with Yoda, all was well, but going against Yoda in council was a nightmare.
I'm conducting the Council of Reassignment with this issue and will recommend that Obi-Wan is returned to the temple for reassessment. I will suggest he is kept here for however long it takes to make an accurate assessment and find him a place as either a Padawan or in one of the corps he is suited to. We also need to yet again have the discussion about how poorly the corps are being portrayed to initiates. The Agra Corps is where we send some of our best minds and scientists, those called to work with living things.
I agree, said Mace. Even in his own time as an initiate, he had feared failing out of everything and being sent to the Agra Corps. He knew it was nonsense now, but the persistent belief that the Agra Corps was for the worst failures of the Jedi Order seemed to be passed down to generations of initiates.
Regarding Obi-Wan, it might not be that simple. I recommend you contact Madame Nu about the issue and read any materials she gives you.
Mace was not technically authorized to share Holden Law's complaint, but Nu would never let that stop her.
Is Obi-Wan okay?
Demanded Waresha.
Yes,
assured Mace, though he was suddenly uncertain of the truth of his words.
As far as we know,
he qualified.
He had an eventful trip to Bandolin, but you really should talk to Jocasta.
The old Wookiee looked down at him, a worried glint to his eyes.
I'm submitting to the council that Elmem be removed from Squawk Khan and that Yoda be removed from the leadership of the Initiate clans. He will still be free to teach them, but his mistakes regarding Squawk Khan and Obi-Wan have harmed several of our cubs.
Thank you for the forewarning, said Mace with a small bow. Waresha had an uphill battle here, considering Yoda's sway, but he had faith in his old crush master. Mace would do what he could to back him when the issue came before the council. The worry was still present in Waresha's eyes, but he seemed calmer now that he had a plan.
Come here, Mace,
he said, and held out his arms. Mace willingly embraced the Wookiee. Wookiee hugs really were the best hugs.
You see those 4 bright stars that form a diamond? That's the head of the mythosaur. The 2 faintest stars to either side below them are its horns.
Yam's head was tilted back, eyes fixed above. The bright band of stars that was the edge of the galaxy looked like 1,000 particles of dust. He had a faint scar on the side of his mouth. The red gave in to the urge to kiss it before taking Yam's hand and pointing it closer to the horizon.
That bright reddish star is the Manda's eye. They are watching over us, guiding us.